towards the same virus. 19 measures, or say 20 measures, were taken to fight against these, and one of those particular measures was to close down bars by 6 o'clock and social distancing.
Yeah.
And in social distancing, it is clear at least a meter or two from each other. And at the same crumbling nature, the bankruptcy that the nation of Cameroon, the economy of Cameroon is facing, the government does not want to rise up one day. It is impossible to run the nation again. So, rather than choose to protect the lives of the people, they decide to expose them by removing that particular social detailing buses or the transporters. You can carry your normal number of persons you were carrying. For example, a 70-seater bus has the right 70 individuals could sit as closest as any distance again because they are touching each other. And to carry 2 persons due to the former measures that were given, 3 behind and 1 in front.
Yeah.
The 3 will still let's say be closer to each other.
Yeah.
It doesn't bars really enter, but during the evenings, snacks and nightclubs they actually control
the first point of the night to maintain barrier measures like social distance the wearing of face masks.
I read that cover the problem because they will not be in the nightclubs to mass. We do not refuse that. In the nightclubs to control how people are dancing. Nightclubs are meant for people to go there. What else are you trying to stay closer? And so if it don't respect even the World Health Organization distancing, virus actually spread through more closeness. It means that the main target of the government is to kill. Period. They're surprised that happened because the number keep rising, and if the number keep rising, 2,000 lost. Then instead of close, they are instancing okay. Fifth is they are.
Mr. Chi, you want to say something? What do you think about the recent 19 measures?
It is the government, Cameroonian people, to the government, taking them to about not less than 100 schools were shut down. Mm-hmm. Businesses were shut down, especially the bar, drinking spots. We are over 2,000. They will the businesses is set to be reopened.
Bars were never shut down. People could use.
Yet we were criticizing the fact that bars were only shut PM.
Yeah.
Or an appointment with people at 6. It means that if the government was of the bars will have from the morning till evening. You see hypocrisy. Bars are shut down, but brother, who is fooling who? During the day, people lock. From 6 p.m. and people who have seen the bars to stupor. Possibility of the population. Now the can we put on face masks. I begin to imagine how you put on this thing, Blanche.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to drink. You put it like this, or you take it all over your nose. You cover a period by which you discussing. As in bars, there's music. And for your name, saying, and when you increase the volume of your voice, you increase your force out. And when saliva pours out, virus get from one another from one. What I was expecting to see on the list of things that have been added to the measures was that fuel prices have been reduced. Unfortunately, if we were in a, they say the world is a small village, and fuel prices, petroleum products, have now gone down to $20. People have country so that their countrymen can benefit. Does it mean that in our own country, Cameroon, the government dislike the people to the point of which they will not want us to benefit from commodities? Look,
I will get back to you. We're just beginning the program. We still have Javis give us his own point. What do you think about the government's decision about the 19?
Well, Blanche, I want to say that it's kind of difficult to strike a balance when it comes, because you like it or not, that the lives of humans are more important. That if an economy, or if the economy goes down into recession, it can definitely come back into a booming state. But if a life is lost and you cannot reverse, an economy in chemistry is what we call easily reversible. But a life in chemistry is what we call a chemical change, which cannot be easily reversible, meaning that when somebody dies, you cannot bring back that person. Looking at the measures, I think that the government was more concerned at the level of the economy. It was looking at the economic gain, and equally the government was looking at other big nations like Italy that have actually started resuming or reopening parts of their economy. It is not a bad thing to be. You must know your socio-economic realities. You must evaluate your realities. Remember that, Blanche, there's an aspect here that the government was supposed to take into consideration of doctors and researchers and ask them which period is more favorable for this virus to be transmitted. You look at Europe; they have 4 seasons, and the only season that they have, which only one, they have 3 of those seasons are almost like the same. Just the difference is that snow doesn't fall at a particular time. And you look at the death rate was more when they were during the period of I think it's spring, it's autumn or something like that. With virus can easily be transmitted in a cold temperature. We are moving now in a rainy season period in Cameroon. Now this period could be a favorable period for the transmission of this virus as compared to the hotness that we used to have, the dry season we are now moving to. Now these are factors that if you meet researchers, they'll tell you, hey, this is what is happening. This is what is happening. Ghana reopened. I'm sure that Cameroon is equally copying. They had a college of scientists that sat and said, okay, this is it. This is the reality. These are the number of cases that we have. When you say we should reopen and bars should move to their normal fare, nightclubs should move to this equation as to the safety of the government worker itself, because this is it, Blanche. On the 1st of May, Labor Day, I went round Douala and I saw people drinking and celebrating, seemingly without face masks, dancing without faces. You and I, who are taking precaution, moving with our sanitizers, moving our face masks, how can we be sure of our safety for those who go out and interact with people? You should know that the restriction at the behest of the head of state. People reduce the face mask wearing, and even police officers don't longer enforce the effective face. Does it mean that the Prime Minister actually asked for a suspension of face masks? No, he did not. So I think this is a logic here that I asked Prof. I think prior to this program that if you say 70 seaters should carry their normal population, is it that the mathematics that those government officials study is too complicated that we of the ordinary cannot understanding simple mathematics. Because we catered for general face masks, compulsory face masks on my Facebook page before the government could even institute that. And there's an issue here, Blanche. We cannot negate the fact that the lives of humans are more important than the economy.
Yeah.
Yes, I share the pain of the government. One of the measures I was expecting that the government would say, okay, this institution like the private higher education institution and the secondary institutions, actually maybe we can give them a small stipend, like let's say 10 million to all of these institutions, to at least give 30% salaries to their workers who are already on standby, such that they can keep the momentum, while hoping that when the economy, when things resume, these workers have been laid off. Workers keep being laid off. The government focuses on the government teachers. The government teachers receive their full salaries. The government workers receive their full salaries. I'm begging the head of state and also on the private sector. Schools actually need this small subvention, no matter how small the money may be. It will help to save the job of a teaching staff in this private institution, so that we can together move on. Either we sink together or
move together.
We move together.
Okay, so I'll welcome those judges, and you're welcome to this edition. Let's go for this report so that those watching us will know what we're talking about. We're talking about the recent outing of the Prime Minister of the country, Prime Minister Joseph Jongute, who on Thursday, the 30th of April, 19 measures, some measures initially adopted by the government. Let's have this report. When we come back, we'll continue with the program. Prime Minister, Head of Government, Chief Dr. Joseph Jongute has announced 19 impact of COVID-19 pandemic in Cameroon. The Prime Minister was speaking yesterday during the intermeeting on the bars, restaurants and leisure facilities can now operate after 6 p.m. Consumers must respect barrier measures and the wearing of protective face masks.
1. The opening after 6 p.m. and leisure facilities with the obligation for customers and users to respect barrier measures, in particular protective masks and social distancing. 2. The lifting of the measure reducing the mandatory number of passengers in all public transport by bus and taxi. The wearing of masks remains compulsory. 3. The suspension for the second quarter of 2020 of general accounting audits, except in cases of division.
According to the Prime Minister, the support measures are to relieve the sectors most affected by the health crisis, following encouraging results observed in the implementation of Cameroon. The measures that will benefit trade unions, households were ordered by the head of state, His Excellency President Paul Biya.
Instructed the government to conduct a study to assess the impact of national economy and to determine the accompanying measures to be implemented to support sectors in difficulty as well as households that are most in need. The study was carried out participatory approach in conjunction and technical partners. In addition, weekly COVID-19 response strategy have revealed by the government are beginning to bear fruit.
One of the measures adopted on March 17 as against COVID-19 prohibited the operation of bars, restaurants and entertainment spots after 6 p.m. The recent evaluation meeting held yesterday has uplifted this ban, and on command of the head of state, the measures taken on March 17, 2020 have been extended for 15 days, subject to.
The President of the Republic has decided to extend the measures taken on 17th March 2020 as part of the COVID-19 pandemic response strategy for an addition.
You're welcome back to the program. Let's You're welcome to today's edition of the show.
Merci pour ça. Dans les personnes qui me suivent plus ce dimanche, je suis.
Before you joined us, we were talking about the 19 measures unveiled by unveiled on Thursday. Do you think that this will enhance the fight, or this will intensify, this will strengthen the fight against COVID? Is taking us down the lane, like?
Donc, écoutez, il faut reconnaître que c'est bonne parce qu'il y a un accompagnement déjà comme au départ ils avaient demandé l'arrière. Il y avait à l'époque au fond de sécurité de à porter les masques et qu'on soit. Pour une fois, les mesures d'accompagnement sera annoncées tout récemment. Maintenant, l'accompagnement certes, mais est-ce que l'accompagnement doit être juste un peu qui dérange en fait? On vous dirait qu'il y a accompagnement, c'est une bonne chose, mais sur les limites de cet accompagnement-là. Nous ne parlons pas, ouais, merci, nous ne pensons pas au gouvernement. Le gouvernement, en parlant de la super, c'est une taxe sur la valeur. Ça concerne. Et normalement, ce qu'on dit pour rien, c'est que la TVA normalement est supportée par le consommateur. On rembourse la TVA. On se pose la question. Vous allez par exemple sur le code. Vous que le gouvernement a sur 3 mois. Oh, c'est pas ça. Pas trop fait le débat technique sur la TVA, mais nous disons que c'est l'argent des entreprises qu'on a dans le gouvernement. L'une des mesures qui nous dérange, l'aspect TVA économique et consort, qui est là, c'est pas mauvais. Déjà, au moins, ça va aider les couches de la semaine, ça va être, il faut saluer, mais même si la création du faux sentiment de sécurité, hein? C'est-à-dire que c'est les pratiques particulières dans les snack bars, pour le moment, les boîtes de nuit. C'est ça qui est dérangeant dans cette mesure-là. Parce que cette mesure vient faire croire aux Camerounais que le Covid-19 est terrible. Faire croire aux Camerounais. Actuellement, les gens ne portent plus les masques. Les gens ne respectent plus la distanciation. Les gens sont libres. Donc, actuellement, les Camerounais ont relâché. Or, le gouvernement sur cette mesure, quand le Cameroun est à plus de 1800 cas, un test massif qui était annoncé par l'État du Cameroun n'a pas encore eu lieu pour dire exactement combien de cas. Peut-être le fait que nous prenons nos lives, nos potions de la pharmacopée, peut-être ça nous épargne un peu du Covid-19. Mais est-ce que c'est la raison? Puisque c'est pas officiel, il n'y a pas une théorie scientifique qui dit que c'est la marche. Est-ce que c'est la raison pour laquelle le gouvernement va baisser les bras, va créer un faux sentiment? Donc, on a eu la fête du 1er mai. Le 1er mai et le 20 mai, parce qu'on veut mieux. Pendant, on vient, on dit, est-ce que on peut respecter la distanciation? Vous avez des véhicules, les sont en train de foucher, ils se collent. Et la plupart, voilà. Et nous sommes conscients que la climatisation est un facteur qui permet de du Covid-19. Et ça, beaucoup de personnes. Donc, ce que les brassicoles, hein, très fort, qui fait pression sur le gouvernement, nous comprenons aussi que beaucoup de actionnaires, nous sommes conscients que les brassicoles, 100 milliards de francs CFA, taxes et taxes complémentaires et indirectes, appelées 100 milliards de francs CFA. Nous sommes conscients que le Camerounais vaut 500 milliards, je ne pense, important. demandé qu'on ouvre les garde les mesures et paye les familles de ces Camerounais. Les Camerounais pour les payer, suivre le. Nous sommes un peu désolés de ce que par ce souvenir et si jamais publie les véritables chiffres, si elle continue à croître, c'est ça mental.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Lex. Count, it is your from you. And over to the government announced of April has risen for funds. Where is the place of a local man? This and who doesn't? I'm thinking about all those who make their money, their farm produce and things like that. Can they sustain? Can they in this within these measures? Times like this.
It is a nice thing that once for those that are civil servants has been uplifted, it has been increased.
Yeah,
it is very nice. But what is funny about 50% of the population of Cameroon are not civil servants.
Yeah,
and most of them are living from hand to mouth. And if to the state of increasing the family allowance of those who are working, what about those who are struggling to keep the economy strong and actually not depending on the salaries to its workers? That we need to hit on. The government of Cameroon operates as if it is in a vacuum. Operates as if the reason that and I'm saddened with this the idea of actually
accompanying or giving support.
They talking of the TVA, help it, all those businesses actually is good.
Yeah.
But you see, I will still come to one point. This goes on the economy and neglecting the lives of individuals. The focus this particular period of time is not how at this hour every economy is going to fall.
The economy has to be somehow strong to be able to manage.
Every economy in the world at this hour is supposed to collapse. Jack Ma said something the other day that in a time like this, how much profit you are making, you should be thinking on how to sustain your life, how to stay alive.
Yeah.
A person who does not see into it, does not protects the lives of its citizens and sustains them, keeps them alive in a time like this, and is rather looking into sustain the nation, is wicked. I'll put it that way, because on normal basis, if that economy collapses and the people are alive, build it up again. But what happens if these people actually die? Which economy will we be talking about when the people are dead? So asking me that question, whether what about the local mandate, their well-being? They don't care how they live. They don't care what happens with them. You see, I'm saying this because Cameroon is a nation where instead of struggling, support those who are in the villages. Because I was looking up to say that maybe the government was supposed to, at this particular period of time, to
receive bills,
save bills to these people again. We are going to pay. Come to Kamwata, the government is going to pay the bills, and you will not give bills to these people. Not change. Let's keep that aside. These people, most of them are not working, but they are supposed to protect their lives at this particular period of time. For example, those who had nightclubs, it's not supposed to be a place where people should gather in at this particular period of time. Why? Because the spread of COVID multiplies in such places. Deems it necessary to open nightclubs. It means that to them, they don't care if the people attend those nightclubs, come there and get infected. They care on what those nightclubs are they interested in. And as a result of that, it proves to us that the government of this nation doesn't have the people in heart, the interests of the government of Cameroon. So I believe that for the government to actually because there are some of them that are actually destructive. They are not the people. They are completely at a particular period of time when people are struggling to keep their lives to stay alive, and we give them people try to carry as many as you can, and then women in the market who have been struggling to sell. The question is, gather in the market, because I've this particular platform, I said telling them to go and gather in the market, in the mall. At this particular, if you count the number of the infected persons, it is more than 2,000 already. When we had we brought in measures to distance them. We closed down schools. Then, when we are over 2,000, we are talking of reopening schools, and struggling to boost the economy. That's the most destructive thing I've ever heard. That is a. I of Cameroon doesn't care about those people. He just asked me, the common man out there who is struggling to, what happens to them? If they die, it's not their problem. As long as they can get what their pockets, because is help the economy of individuals.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your point. And to you, Mr. Tamfujo, don't you think this is an eye opener for Cameroonians to be extremely responsible? Okay, go. But don't you think that it's time for all Cameroonians to know that I have to do this to keep myself safe? Does the government always have to walk behind them, give curfews, pass laws to make Cameroonians take their health, seriously? And
in as much as the government inform the population that the fact that the government have put these measures in place to make life a bit comfortable to people doesn't mean we should. Social distancing remains.
Yeah.
Constant washing of hands, sanitizing hands stands.
Remains. Yeah.
Avoid constant putting on of face masks. Still stand. Avoid those bars that they have said you should go and drink, because life doesn't have a duplicate and real. Now, I was talking about fuel prices.
Okay.
When we talk about the common man, because when we talk about increasing family allowance is for people who work in the private sector, especially in the public sector and the private sector. That's civil servants and the private workers, because the social allowance. Family allowance. How many people are working there? The majority of those of Cameroonians are those that are fit from hand to mouth. Those who are unable to have 3 square meals a day. Now, if government, companies have laid off workers, I'm one of the workers who have been laid off. If companies have laid off workers to reduce expenses because of the economy that is going down to their houses, some are being paid of their salaries. Some are being paid 50. Some are being paid nothing. Now, how will these people manage their lives? One measure I was talking about fuel, because fuel plays a vital role in every economy. Because fuel price is from 200 francs. It goes a long way to reduce from 50 francs to 100 francs. And it goes a long way to reduce the transportation of 20 liters of a gallon of palm oil from Mesingong to Bamenda from 500 francs, and it makes a liter of oil instead to be sold for 600 francs to now be sold for 300 francs. And it will enable that people stay in their housing in confinement and eat food to provide. Why? When they talk of the government taking money, people are contributing. We have Mr. Bia gave 2 billion. It's good. The government gave 1 billion. It is good. That's 3 billion. The 2 billion was used to save buckets and masks. Do we need it? People can take their wife's wrapper. Because is it not the same wrapper that sewing the mask with? He sensitizes people to wash their hands constantly. Before now, didn't they have savon? They have savon and they've been washing their hands. What they need is food.
Okay.
Food is what is pushing the Cameroonians out of their houses for the chop, not chop.
Okay.
So food is sending them to the streets. So if you think that giving them masks will make them stay at home, or giving them buckets and hand sanitizer will make them stay at home, we are attacking the enemy from the wrong angle. Now, everything is centered on fuel. If fuel prices is refused, but what baffles me is that none has been a time that this price down. Are they afraid to make it drop? They should reduce the fuel prices. Now, secondly, the government has said that people should go out there and drink. In past, that's what they have said.
They have just, why don't you see from the way that they've given opportunities to these business people to go out
by killing themselves? Right, it's me killing themselves. When they die, what would the business? Because we remember a story of what happened in France, where a ship came with contaminated confine, and a certain authority gave authorization that no, the people should, because there were goods in the ship, that they should remove the goods so that it will boost the economy. At the end of the day, people ended up dying in their normal. So you
don't even see the possibility
in what
the measure states that you respect barrier measures, and then don't you think that it is possible that a limited number of people get into the space or whatever? That
detail was not put in the measures.
But now was there this
man is a man who needs to look.
If you understand, then the bar owner should know that it is okay at the level where the population starts getting
money. Look at Blanche, people need money and people are taking.
But you can buy and take home.
You can buy and take home, but they will tell that beer is not sweet at home. Blanche, you cannot tell me to cover my mouth.
Okay, you can't tell somebody to go to the nightclub and dance. Dance in his house.
Look, you cannot tell me that I should eat my mouth. You put in the barrier drinking. It's uncalled for. So if the government is serious, the money I was this that the organizations around the world are supporting the government see into paying people to stay at home. People,
their economy is okay.
They are supplying. They just because one man will sit in his office, others are watching. Oh, let me learn.
Okay.
What they blame it on who? Me? Not that as we is suffering from where has the from the sparrow hall gone to? Account of it. Government, they country where the the minister gave 6 months of his salary. Disease. So buying face masks, they will see into it that because in a government should block down Douala and Yaoundé. It will be easy for the government to solve. If this 2 billion was the board of them to eat and stay at home for 2 weeks or 1 month for meanwhile they look into how to contain the cases that were already now they have made difficult to contain.
All right, much. I think you should calm down a little. Mr. Alex, do you think that this, you pointed out specifically the upliftment of the books and restaurants and public places, leisure facilities, they pointed that out, that is what Cameroonians have still not been able to understand. Do you think that the government is trying to boost back the economic loss? Do you think there was a better way on that without causing the populating the COVID-19?
Oui. Le gouvernement veut bien relancer l'économie. Le Covid a donné de nouvelles règles de jeu. Est-ce que d'une hécatombe économique, s'il faut un peu l'expression, c'est-à-dire un peu comme qui a eu lieu en Allemagne dans les années 1920-21, un peu comme la crise qui a eu lieu dans les années 33. Un peu comme aussi la grande crise de 1960, je crois, 14, avec la chute pétrolière, et la grande crise de 1981. Récemment que l'année 2008 et l'année par là. Donc il y a cette peur là, il y a cette peur que tous les États ont peur. Par exemple, les États demandent de sortir, veulent relancer Chine. On a suivi un État, je crois que c'est demandant de sortir, je crois l'Espagne, quelque chose comme ça, et qui après à l'intérieur. C'est qu'il faille relancer l'économie. Mais il y a 4 principes. Adam Smith, qui est 1960 économique des marchés. Il y a 4 principes de relancer une économie. D'après sa théorie, il faut la dépense. Est-ce que le gouvernement essaie de mettre 25 milliards pour sur la TVA? La dépense budgétaire, le gouvernement demande en termes de plus dans ce sens-là. Le gouvernement demande aux gens d'ouvrir les bars et ils essaient de continuer l'action. Il faut la consommation. Les gens d'ouvrir le bar consomment peu, mais en soirée, les gens consomment le plus dans les snacks bars et les boîtes de nuit. Quand on dit et consommer une bière, avoir la bonne saveur quand on est dans un bar, nous sommes humains parce que la jouissance individuelle, l'homme veut jouir, ça fait partie des plaisirs personnels. On ne peut pas empêcher tout être humain aimerait s'allonger, le besoin sexuel et la nourriture intellectuelle qui sont des éléments fondamentaux pour un être humain. Donc la jouissance individuelle ne s'acquiert que lorsqu'on est dans un système comme ça. Donc le gouvernement est conscient de ça. Donc la consommation en demandant donc qu'on aille dans les bars, c'est toujours la théorie d'Adam Smith. Quand l'on fait, ils n'ont pas appliqué la théorie parce que l'instant, les Français sont toujours fermés, à ce que je sache. Donc vous comprenez que sur cette théorie d'Adam Smith, ils sont en train d'appliquer, ils ont laissé la dernière chose qui est l'exportation. Vous comprenez que dans cette théorie-là, quand on a c'est une théorie qui est discutable, on a 4 éléments, vous appliquez 3 sur 4, vous comprenez, ça ne passera pas. Et même les 3 que vous appliquez, vous allez appliquer sur les dépenses budgétaires, vous ciblez, touche pas à toute la population. Et vous dites que non, ça ne passe pas comme ça. Vous dites des choses. Le problème, quand c'est un confinement, même quand les gens, quand il y a une crise, c'est l'individu ne dépense que sur les biens de consommation utiles. C'est la nourriture. Les gens préfèrent dépenser, ils vont acheter les vivres, ils vont garder sur les réfrigérateurs, ils vont acheter des biens qui peuvent être consommés à long terme. Ne va aller investir. Bon, c'est une forme de consommation, mais seulement ces produits qu'on achète sont beaucoup plus importés. Donc, quand on paie ces produits, on fait tourner l'économie des pays qui les produisent. Donc, est-ce que les gens vont acheter le manioc et vont garder chez eux pendant... Pardon, les gens vont acheter tout ce qui est importable et ils vont garder chez eux. Ils vont acheter du riz qu'on en Asie, ils vont garder. Ça affecte la relance économique de l'Asie et non du Cameroun. Donc, le gouvernement pensant donc en activant le volet consommation, le volet relance économique par ce qu'ils ont parlé de TVA, non, ce n'était pas ça. Je ne pense pas que le moment soit propice à la relance économique. Parce que l'un des facteurs importants, parce que l'économie, en d'autres termes aussi, c'est la gestion des ressources rares. Hein? Et parmi les ressources rares, on parle des capitaux, on parle de la terre, on parle des matières premières et ressources humaines, de l'homme qui sont produits. Donc, le Covid-19 vient dire plus conservé. Donc, je suis resté un peu dans l'aspect un peu purement pour dire que ça, il devrait que l'urgence n'est pas sur la relance économique, mais l'urgence humaine. Et s'il faut faire un projet économique, elle devrait être sociale. Parce que ce qu'on dit aux gens, l'un des rôles c'est la protection sanitaire des citoyens. De passer à côté et vous passez à côté et vous dites allez dans les snacks, allez danser. Entre par la bouche, par le nez, même pas les oreilles. Il pourra transmettre. Donc nous pensons clairement que cette mesure a été mal réfléchie. Il faut envoyer un message fort au Camerounais que ce gouvernement est pas égocentrique. Ouais. Parce que si on pensait un temps soit pour le peuple camerounais, on ne prenait pas telle mesure. Je suis un homme politique. Je le parle en tant qu'homme politique. Je Camerounais continue d'exécuter les mais avec les propositions des partis politiques, non pas encore un parti comme le MRC et d'autres partis politiques. Donc chaque Camerounais continue à se prendre compter sur parce qu'apparemment avec le Covid-19, on se rend compte que l'intérêt gouvernemental n'est pas. Nous parlons de au-dessus de l'intérêt. Chaque individu doit prendre ses mesures barrières, doit les respecter afin de se maintenir en santé. Car la somme des mesures individuelles prises va faire l'intérêt public.
Thank you very much, Professor. Looking into these measures, into the 19 support measures government recently. Let's talk about health workers. You know, the virus itself, they sacrifice a lot, and so far we've lost some of our health workers in the country, and let me not mention the other parts of the world. But the measures, any of the measures where our health workers protected or at least given something to fall back, we've forgotten our health workers.
This actually confirms the government of Cameroon thinks less of those who are actually working for the progress of the country. Why do I say so? When you get those that are taking care of us because they are the ones fighting.
Yeah.
This is a sanitary war in and everywhere in the world. Everything possible to make sure that they give this, make them to feel wise saving. In Cameroon, it is just regions. It is
because we are even
I
at
get
risk.
to feel like the government is heinous. The government hates its own. May not be what is there, but I feel like, look at it, sacrificing their lives. Most of them have been infected.
Yeah. Health worker
Some of them,
contaminating or spreading it, so
that
so
is just
people
the
is
issue.
very.
Doctors have already died.
They have.
What did the government do to their families? Go to the war front and they are killed. What do? They give them state. What have they done? Who fell during this fight? Their wives are there infected. They were to make sure they take care of a patient, and they were infected. And as a result of that, the government is so their job with all. When a soldier, I'm calling the soldiers now because they are the soldiers that we are talking right now.
Yeah.
They are the ones fighting at the front. And if they are the ones at the front fighting, it means taken care of. So if their well-being, the question I should be asking is, what then wants? Because I can't understand at all why the military in Cameroon is more paid than he's giving his life for the sake of other Cameroonians. If he is giving his life, then there is no reason why they should not be supported. There is no reason why they should not be empowered financially. I think they should have kept that. That was supposed to be one of the main measures that the government was supposed to actually take.
Because this is a health crisis, and they are the, like you said, the
government was supposed to think of not infected, and then they can be infected and they carry the sickness back to their homes, and they get their families infected. They were supposed to also think about their ability. They can be infected, come to the hospital. So with all that, how are they struggling to make sure that these guys, their lives are preserved? I don't see that. It is not found in the measures. How I think, let me tell you something. When soldiers are going for a battle, at times, to motivate them to fight without thinking, they pay them, they double their pay. Question of these doctors?
They will do something eventually.
I think somehow the doctors are thinking so, because if in this country some hospitals has been kept aside to receive the COVID-19 patients, the doctors there should be treated different because they are most vulnerable. To talk to the population out there that an Ivorian doctor said, the name just ran off my memory, that those are carrying should be very careful because they are very vulnerable. Should be very careful too. So now, when talking about doctors, I saw the other day the government received 14 cars from where hoping to see ambulances that can transfer to the whole nation to see into it that COVID-19 it should be rushed to the hospital as soon as possible. But this guy is given to who? The health delegates, the delegates of the public health in the center region, the 14 delegates, to do what with Walla. So we see the government being biased. If these actions are meant to appreciate some of what, but all I know is it's not doing what it is supposed to do. When you realize that the government of scientific research, I have been asked, what has these ministries been doing ever since? Because now as medicine, because we keep saying that the government should have given food, the government should have what forward that this is Cameroon support against the fight out with CVO, COVID organic. Cameroon, we are more talented and we have all
at a few minutes from now when we dive into the second topic of the day.
Okay, so let me not get in. So much is left undone in this country because earlier we were talking about the economy of Cameroon not being well to do. Who is the cause? This COVID-19 just people, and I think it is time the government should sit up after this pandemic.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll take some contributions, and right after that, we'll go in for the next topic of the day, talking about Africa. And 19 is this a radical step or a necessary step for the continent to stand up against, the wish and control of the World Health Body, the World Health Organization? This one says, I greet everyone in the House of Commons. My name is Prince Will from Court for the common man or common person to pay light, water, and some basic bills. Why can't the government help the population to cancel some bills? This one says, good afternoon to you all in the studio. The government measures will impact the population negatively because as the number of increasing in the country, the government is the measures, so we don't know whether the government wants to save their lives. Okay, and this other one says about the government constructive measure or signed a contract to perish. We all know our government and know that coronavirus government asks you to walk across the sea and you accept problem and that of your family and all national events. Don't want to sit citizens to drink and travel together. Shine your eye. From Boya. Thank you much, Jean. In the studio, we all have to know that that's nothing good for its population. When I can, okay, and your message, you can actually pass your message through without insulting or cursing. You can do that, still pouring out your anger and your plight. Good afternoon to you guys on the panel. Cameroon government is missing taxation COVID-19, which has led the economy to slow down. Boya Council still goes around asking business people to pay hygiene and sanitation tax. Shortly after this, it was declared after the nationals. This is a clear indication that the Cameroon government is after her own interest and not that of the citizens. Maurice writing from Clark's quarters in Boya. Thank you. And we move over to the second topic of the day. Africans take the lead for COVID-19 cure. Is it a radical or a necessary step? We're taking the case study of Madagascar and our own Bishop Samuel Clay, Dr. Richard Fru. So I'm turning over to you to start for the day. I understand you're a Pan-Africanist, and is this a necessary or a radical step?
I would say this is the best.
You don't see anything wrong with
there
Africa
is no
shunning
radicality in it because in the first place, before the white man came with mans who were actually taking care of sicknesses.
Okay.
The people were sick and they were being cured in Africa. And to not say it is just the best thing, I would tell you this, to actually live in collaboration. Africans love nature. And it becomes difficult when you're surrounded. The white man has actually introduced us into deadly methods which we have fallen in. They take the youth whatsoever, put together and bring it as drugs which have side effects. Them you bring whatsoever called vaccines and give them which have side effects. I've seen vaccines that have been given to children, they have been paralyzed. The question is, why should they do that? They have come back to Africa. They discourage Africans to actually believe in what Africa can give. Africa, the herbs it takes to heal disease that exists on earth. For example, in this doctor with research and actually herbs that could actually COVID-19 or Wuhan. I'm giving it COVID because they don't want us to know it's from China. Particular mindset. When an African, the importance of the, you will not waste a lot of money waiting for somebody to come and handle by just getting behind your house. To help Africa relieve. I don't know why at this particular moment Africans creating an African health to think and act to help problems in Africa, not depending on warhead or run by dead persons.
No.
I'm not using this word because I just want to use them. With what I'm saying is happening today. Warhead organization has not supported what in Africa right now, in Madagascar. It's because they have behind, they have an agenda. They don't actually want to support it. Even anything concerning our clergy Archbishop, who has been researching on herbs for 30 years and working. Those who his drug are those are medical doctors. Most who were infected by this particular were doctors and up their testimonies. I believe not just supposed to come persons who meet they can no. This moment is for the governments of Africans to actually rise initiative actually deal with the problem. We somebody who come and problem for them, and because if you wait for them, Africans to die, just like it's addiction. Do you millions
an African
millions because people believe in them? You people will be infected. God, a solution to make them realize that
same social media that may come back. Alex,
C'est que toute une permettra. Ils ont la bien.
Oui.
Humain. Pas fatigue. Tous des mêmes ADN. C'est important. Et on a la science, la recherche, on connaît pas loin, mais dans la qui est là, un certain nombre, c'est une au-delà des il faut que l'on rende naturel des choses. C'est-à-dire, nous écrit qu'il y a des personnes qui ont vécu 205 ans. Non, nous avons des parents, mais sont servis de la nature. Cela scientifique comme ça. Que si elle expliquait pas naturel, c'est-à-dire que vous et un médecin et dire ça soit
le principe.
Comme tant. On prend que les chefs d'un nom des copies parce que tout en de leur et finances. Parce que quand parce que c'est puisse être connu de vos pères et comme normal la pharmacopée ces gens-là n'investissent pas sur eux, c'est un endroit où et voilà, donc j'ai passé des plans naturels, Madagascar, ce médicament avec qui est au niveau du médicament qui est déjà content que le ministre est allé mettre col de vous dans les urgences. Tout à l'heure, quand on a dit que parce qu'en fait, le gouvernement, voilà, dit quand il se lève ailleurs, laisse naturellement qu'il a son verra qu'il prend, il a sa fusion de indien. Quand il et quand il prend, il est un peu l'effet même si en fait il doit dire alors forçons ça maintenant c'est normal il gens arrête de glosser il est que qu'on valorise la recherche africaine gens ceux qui comment important l'État camerounais l'autre gouvernement passe en médicaments il serait qu'ils accompagnent le prélat qui a été découvert. On a d'autres chercheurs dans la pharmacopée camerounaise. C'est du Cameroun de voir les tares qu'ils ont accumulés probablement au niveau de la pharmacopée. Sauf de leur recherche. Je vais vous dire, il y a des maladies. La pharmacopée, que seule la pharmacopée. Je me rappelle encore d'un reportage que il y a une maladie, on appelle ça quoi? Du sang là. Hein? Non, c'est un peu comme ça. Monsieur a un concurrent. Dans une hémorragie. Chaque clairement dit qu'il soignait. Il a pu comprendre que les grandes industries pharmaceutiques ont des milliards à gagner. Donc, ils n'ont pas intérêt bien à la disposition du public qui fait la recherche africaine veut aider la race humaine. Mais sa recherche veut surtout s'arrêter au problème de mondial. Nous voulions vraiment.
That's what you. When World Health COVID-19 pandemic, it was okay. There has been so much into some African affairs. Even to tackle in Africa, adopted that and are working towards that. So, don't you think wrong? They're gonna be here. Is it a
and I love the because I'm Africanist. I love Africa.
Why the awareness just now?
That's why I said
Africa has always been Africa, and
thank social. If social media was not existing, the virus would have been tested in Africa. Yes, because that pandemic came to put to light so many hidden.
Why do you believe that the social media is not misleading?
Mm-hmm. Do you know that the same man who is pushing for that vaccine should come to Africa, his children were not vaccinated? He has never vaccinated his child, even the BCG. He never gave it to his children. Why? You cannot take. You don't know because of social media was not in existence. See, his doctor is admitting it. Now, what I'm saying that if social media did not exist even in wars, that's a computer that place never existed. But because people, then you know that anything you do, social media, people will bring it to social media, everybody will see. And you know that social media, but it's also informing.
Yeah.
You know that at a given point in time, there was a war in a particular country, and internet was shut down in that war zone, so that information will not leave that war zone to other parts of the social media. Social when accountable. Media is holding leaders. Now, going to the invention of Africans. Africa has all it takes. And I believe wants Africans to disappear from the African. He brought this pandemic. Somebody said here that the pandemic moves faster during cold weather. I will tell you, the country that is too hot, the pandemic is there. It means that this pandemic chooses where to go and how. If it's unnatural, could have been contented by the government, by the World Health Organization, by medical doctors, but it is above them to manage. Now, Africa have refused to resist thanks to social media. That come and people in those countries said that no, they should go and test those vaccines in Africa. For what? Why should vaccine be tested only in Africa? If they test them on the guinea pigs, it works on their Africa refused to take it. They tested it. They started testing it in Germany. They tested it in. They have tested it in Africa and make sure they kill a group of people. And if Africa are not year wise, as somebody wrote in, they will transfer into maybe paracetamol or into another medicine to send to Africa by force. Look, it is time we believe in Africa. All what it takes. Fertility rate was 50 years or so. It is wrong. Our beyond 400. Why is it that when they came, they gave us a different conception about African medicine? Meanwhile, of our natural dogoyaro. Now that World Health Organization is saying that they cannot accept being tested and proven. Dogoyaro start reacting when it meets them. Now, when so, which is radical, World Health Organization is saying what they are saying. In our cases are ongoing and life is protected. If the if these people don't have a hidden agenda, why is it that people are dying in their own country, unable to contain and to take and live? It is all about protecting life, and we in Africa will have what it takes to live. Look, if people have not yet died protecting us, creation that he has given to the likes of Dr. Fu, the Dr.
Bishop
Kleda, and I tell you that of scientific, it is because what has she done? It's not today that sorry, it is not. It is not today. If Kleda has been in research for 30 years, what has research and innovation into it? What is this man doing? Can it be helpful to the nation? Can we promote it? Cameroon also produce something that is working like Queenie. Can Cameroon also produce something that is working like as we speak? There's a young man in Limbe by name Bruno who has detect early stages of coronavirus. Man, these are the government would have just tell them that people should do this research. Okay. We push Cameroon forward. That if then you see a America that Hellwatch in America, would you be proud? And this guy said that the government has taken it.
Is to blame for this.
I am blaming the government, nobody else.
Africans have failed to believe in themselves for a long time. It is just recently.
We believe in ourselves. The government is manipulated.
I'm talking about Africa. I'm talking about.
Where were these people? And what has the meaning? Because now Madagascar, do you know that Dr. Fu came up with Corona in 20 before?
There's nothing wrong. You have to make sure that what the population, what would not have an after effect. I think
there's no after effect in that. Yes, these people.
Okay,
if the West could carry their own vaccine to come and test in Africa, it means that Africa could also produce that dogoyaro and to see how
Mr. Jones, I'll come back to you, Mr. Alex.
To round up on this aspect that we are discussing, before coming going through King Leopold the second, that was around the 18. That's my. That letter carried a message that is so can make an African get more angry when he reads it. I will just put you a clause there where he said, when you are children to read but not to be able to reason, teach them but don't teach their spirits. The spirit he's quoting here is that creative ability of a person. Means he tells them, he goes straight and tells them that cause them to be submissive forever to the colonial masters and be completely submissive. Let them not reason. And then he goes for that. Teach them to forget about their heroes and respect our own heroes. That's why it is easy for you to go to Yaoundé and General de Gaulle, but not that of Omniubert, who were those fighting for the independence of our country. Why am I saying this? I'm making you to understand how it is the white man actually came and killed the spirit. And when they did that, we are blaming even our leaders of today. It is based on the education they gave them. They gave them an education that informs them but does not permit them to reason. And now when young people are rising, because I would not see a reason. If it was an old man in Madagascar who was a leader, that drug would have disappeared.
Very true.
But because it's a young man, he came up and said, I can. He decided to. He didn't need any test more than. Have he healed one? Has he healed two? Has he healed three? Has he healed four? If that has happened, then he stood behind the young researcher And today, it is. I'm so
They're
happy.
exporting it.
I'm so happy with what
About
Obiangema just did.
9 African
Obiangema
countries
carried
or
his
more
plane down to Madagascar, transported the drugs back to his country. What is the meaning? Guinea-Bissau has gone for it, and other nation. I was watching a conference video conference that
Social media.
Yeah.
that he was having the other day
with 9
some
African
countries. That gives me the courage to say Africa is getting up. And to come to this point, you are talking about blaming. I don't think we should be blaming at this particular moment our African leaders of what the white man has put in their minds. They have been.
If
You
they
and
have
I
nothing to
together-
offer, they should leave far.
You see,
Those who have something to offer.
it takes gradual process to offer. If they enter there, they will still start dancing the dance of the white man, unless the entire system that is particularly used now is overhauled. If we don't overhaul it, the same things will be happening. Even if you put somebody whom you trust today, before you. So we need to remind Africans, we are Africans, and we have what it takes to actually solve our problems. It is in us, not out of us. Our culture is a letter that was written in 1835, written by
King Leopold.
no, not King Leopold. In 1835, written by it was a speech that he was doing in the parliament. Lord Macaulay. Macaulay said he has traveled all around Africa and he has not seen a nation that is as rich as this nation. He was talking of Africa. He says Africa is rich. He had not seen any poor person in Africa. He has not seen any. No, by then he was wow. He had not seen it, and he says, in order for them to be able to break these people and dominate them, they need to be able to take. They need to be able to take away their values and make them not to believe in themselves, because the moment they don't believe in themselves, they will tend to believe in them, and when they believe in them, then they can dominate. Came and did it in Africa, and as a result of that, Africans are under. They have been caged for long. It is time for us to rise up and actually emerge and become who we are supposed to
All
be.
right, so you think this is a necessary step?
Appreciating what is happening in Africa right now, in Madagascar, in Cameroon, and other African nations. I was so happy when Senegal came up the other day and actually said we own test kits. Their test kits is as common as what? Everybody in Senegal is being tested. They have their test kits they made. They didn't go to the white man to make it for them. They don't wait for the white man. What is Cameroon waiting for?
Prof, we'll come back for what Alain Skepi has been trying to tell us for some time now. We are against time, so just keep it short and simple.
Je veux juste te dire, c'est vrai qu'il faut dire merci aux réseaux sociaux qui ont permis que des informations puissent être divulguées. Aussi que aussi les médias dont vous êtes également dans les médias sur Facebook, avec ma média Prime TV, sur Facebook, sur les réseaux sociaux. À ce moment-là, il faut dire merci que rien ne puisse être caché. Mais il faut aussi reconnaître aussi la désinformation, parce qu'il y a ce qu'on appelle la désinformation, à savoir la bonne information. Je suis attaché président du parti politique, le MRC. Donc notre travail consiste aussi à ne pas à savoir crier des informations. Nous n'allions pas dire aux Camerounais de ne pas se faire vacciner. Ça ne se dit pas. Hein. De faire croire que BG un vaccin qui viserait à faire ceci, ça non. Cela entre dans la culture de la désinformation. C'est qu'en fait, ceux qui ont parlé de vaccin, hein, on se rend compte que les enfants sont les moins infectés du Covid-19. C'est-à-dire, quand les gens sont infectés du Covid-19, il s'avère que 3% décèdent du Covid-19 et à peu près 15 à 20% vont décéder des maladies annexes dues au Covid-19. Vous comprenez? Mais on s'est rendu compte que le premier cas d'enfant qui est décédé, c'était en Chine, parce que l'enfant avait un système immunitaire très différent. Il faut comprendre que l'enfant, quand il est non maternel, la maman transfère les anticorps à l'enfant par l'allaitement. Et les autres vaccins, en fait, comme le BCBG par exemple, viennent déjà. En fait, c'est un virus qu'on met dans le corps de l'enfant afin de lutter contre d'autres attaques. Donc, on s'est rendu compte que le fait que les enfants ne développaient pas le Covid-19 était dû à cela par rapport aux grandes personnes. Car à un certain âge, ce qu'il faut faire, c'est qu'il y a une suspicion qui est créée. Les gens n'ont plus confiance aux organisations internationales, à l'OMS. Donc, il y a une perte de confiance du public face à cela. Et c'est parce que les États mondiaux, ils n'ont pas su éduquer bien fait ou le mal fait des vaccins. Maintenant,
Yes,
il faut tenir un discours clair et net que si le peuple camerounais devient suspicieux par rapport à un vaccin camerounais, de rassurer ou d'informer la population, il faudrait que la recherche camerounaise fasse des études sur ces vaccins-là afin qu'elle puisse être action. Donc, on ne va pas tenir un discours d'alarmer tout le monde, un discours qui viserait à faire croire que tout ce qui viendrait d'ailleurs serait mal. Nous vivons dans un, permettez-moi, nous vivons dans un village global. C'est-à-dire, la planète Terre est un village. C'est qui, par exemple, le Covid-19 a commencé en Chine. Donc, en tant qu'homme politique, ok, nous parlons des faits. Nous n'allions pas donner
it's more than time. Maybe you.
Dans les populations, mesures barrières qui sont édictées, surtout, et nous demandons à l'État camerounais de mener toutes les recherches possibles afin de trouver des solutions, qu'elles soient médecine conventionnelle. Le plus important est de sauver les vies, et toute action qui vise à sauver les vies a bien vu. Et je tiens par là maintenant à chuter. Si vous me donnez juste quelques secondes, quelque chose qui me tient. Le don du citoyen Camto a été refusé.
Oui. You're going back to politics. Thank you very much, Mr. Alex.
Parce que ça va permettre de sauver les
Prophet, your last words, few seconds. We are out of the studio already.
I think it is time for you to protect yourself as an individual, and irrespective of the fact that here in Cameroon we relieve some of the measures that were actually used to constrain people to stay at home. I want to advise you as an individual to actually protect yourself and protect your life. It is more important. At this hour, it is preferable to have life than to actually as costly as your life. What you need to do everything possible to protect your life. And I want to say a big thank you to all of you out there watching at us, and keep watching my Media Prime.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Tamfu Jones. Your last words.
What I will say is that I will thank the government for all the efforts enemy COVID-19, and that they should do more, because much is still left undone, to see into it that not only COVID-19 will be kicked out, that other future enemies that will be coming in form of sickness or whatsoever should be able to be proactive. So I will say to the Cameroonians and the world, we should make sure that we respect the measures put in place by World Health Organization for our own safety. Because we blame the government, but if you die, government may not even give you a condolence message to you. You will die and disappear, and will stay back and suffer. Protect yourself, stay away from gatherings, wash your hands constantly, sanitize your hands, and put on your face mask.
All right, thank you very much. These last contributions before we sign out of the government knows Cameroonians like beer, and the more they consume alcohol, the less they think. The most important thing here is that there is no treatment. No treatment has been discovered, and no have been made. It is funny to hear or know that the government is lifting measures by banning 1st May and the 20th May celebration. Who is lying to who? Stanley from Bamenja. Thank you very much, Stanley, writing from Bamenja. I believe it's a very big step, and it is a time for African leaders to know that they are more than the whites, and this is a time for the white man to know that they need Africans also. They will not see us. Our helps will cure Africans. God is with us, all Africans. It is time we should stand up and fight for what is our own. Shilton, for those who took out time to watch the program today, and to all those who participated in one way or the other, thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen, for honoring the invite. Some other edition of the program. And so before we leave the studio, always remember to be safe. Like Chamfu Jones said, even if the government just, it doesn't mean you go wild. COVID-19 is still around the corridor. It does not mean that we are safe to do whatever thing we have to do. The seventh measure of the recently adopted, 10th of April states that anybody who goes against the measures will be systematically punished. Always remember to carry along with you your face mask. It is still compulsory in the country. Overcrowding is prohibited. You still have to wash your hands, stay off gatherings until 5 p.m. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.